3 coplanar points, and bam, there's the radius of the Earth.
On the level.
The way I phrase it is a monument to the curvature of the Earth. It really is.
Level.
It really is.
Level.
And bam, there's the radius of the Earth.
You know, I was going through the clips. You know, we're doing this music thing. Fight the Flat Earth is up. I was going through a few clips. And you know, there's one where he did the what's it called? The what's his face? What's he called? You know, that fella I've been in contact with.
Luckily, I've been speaking with one of the world leading experts on refraction, Dr. I forget his name for a second.
What's his face?
The refraction guy.
Yeah.
Dr. I forget his name for a second.
Not Belu.
Right, yeah, you know, when he was actually in contact with him, and then he had to do another video to say, hey, you know when I said I was in contact with him? Well, I may have been, stretching the truth. I've actually received an email.
When I was talking about the emails from Dr. Young, it may have seemed like I was talking like I was getting them personally, but those were kind of coming through, they were actually coming through a third person.
From someone else. You know who that someone else was? That Fight the Flat Earth got the email from what's his face doodah.
No, go on.
It's a bloke called Aaron Armstrong. He even credited him on the air.
It may have seemed like I was talking like I was getting them personally, but those were kind of coming through, they were actually coming through a third person, Aaron Armstrong. So thank you very much for him, and thanks to him I am in contact with Dr. Young.
Aaron Armstrong?
Yeah. He said, thanks to, you know, the other day when I said I was talking to... Well, I wasn't actually. I just received an email from someone. Thank you, Aaron Armstrong, for sending me that email.
So who's this Aaron Armstrong, then?
I think it's this dude here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Hansel that's come without Gretel.
So that means that when Fight the Flat Earth was pretending he was in conversations with he wasn't actually, 'cause he just got an email sent to him from Aaron here. Well, it turns out Aaron must have been emailing Andrew Thomas Young. So might be got any questions that you would ask Andrew Thomas Young, then Aaron is your man.
What, like how he faces everything on a flat plane?
All of that sort of stuff, yeah. I mean, he obviously knows him, don't you? Is that right, Aaron? You know Andrew Thomas. At least you know well enough to be able to send emails to Fight the Flat Earth about him. Which is, it's nice. I mean, like, Fight the Flat Earth, no doubt, credited you. I mean, he did credit you. Did you get anything? Did you have to super chat him or anything?
Everyone getting arrested.
Yeah, I've looked in.
Amazing, isn't it? Some of the things that people say, and they actually have to face what they have been part of sometimes, haven't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you say something, then just stand by it.
Imagine that, though. The elusive Andrew Thomas Young is being talked to and about within these realms with people like Aaron here. I mean, I thought Aaron was just a troll with nothing to offer other than to give Ranty some money. But turns out he actually emails with Andrew Thomas Young.
Maybe they're one and the same. Maybe he's not actually emailing anybody.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Bev. How are you?
All right, fine, thanks.
I just really talked out loud. I'm in a hospital in a shared room, so I've just gone outside. But I wanted to answer your question because you just mentioned something. So I'm not sure what how you got the email, but I'll tell you exactly what happened. I had heard about Andrew Thomas Young, and so I emailed him, please explain some of the things that he was talking about with refraction, and basically what I was doing was trying to learn about refraction because I had no idea at all. He wasn't interested in telling me anything, talking to me. He's certainly not a friend or anyone.
So did he
But
teach you anything at all?
Pardon?
Did he tell you anything at all then?
He just told me, go and read this, have a look at this, that kind of. I passed it on to FTFE. Never spoken to him before. Said, here's some information, some links that you should go and read if you want to know more about it. And within one day, he was on his show saying that.
Yeah, Dr. Young. So I've been speaking with one of the world's leading experts on refraction, Dr. Andrew T. Young.
FTFE was saying that he had been in communications. He had been through Thomas.
Yeah.
He had been given all that. So I got into his chat. I can't hear you very loudly. I'm sorry. I got into his chat and told him that he was a liar. So is someone talking?
No.
Hello? No, carry on. You're not calling you a liar, mate. No, carry on. Sorry.
No. I got into his chat and called him a liar.
Yeah.
And emailed him and said that he was a piece of shit.
Luckily, I've been speaking with one of the world leading experts on refraction, Dr. I actually forget his name for a second. I've got him in the emails. Dr. Young. So I've been speaking with one of the world's leading experts on refraction, Dr. Andrew T. Young, who actually has done years and years and years of study on refraction, and even created simulations of what we should see if the Earth is flat and stuff. So you know,
well, I'd be interested.
But that's the point: is if he has the data of a particular day, if he has the lapse rate of the air, if he has the data that is needed, he can put it into a simulator that he's programmed based on real world observations and tell you what you should be able to see.
He apologized, and I said, if you don't make a public apology, I'm going to expose you for being a... So that's probably what you saw, Bev, I think.
Well, I made a video initially of when he did it, because he didn't even know the bloke's name that he did.
Luckily, I've been speaking with one of the world leading experts on refraction, Dr. I actually forget his name for a second.
And we were taking the piss out of him. It's like, you haven't been in contact with him. And then the next video he did he said, like, I may have made it look like I was in contact, but I got an email.
When I was talking about the emails from Dr. Young, it may have seemed like I was talking about, like, I was getting them personally, but those were kind of coming through, they were actually coming through a third person.
From Aaron.
Yeah, because I was telling him that if you don't fucking tell people where you got the information, I'm going to expose you because you lied.
Yeah, but it made it look like the information was still good.
Just before we start, I wanted to clarify something from my previous debate that I had on Modern Day Debates. When I was talking about the emails from Dr. Young, it may have seemed like I was talking about, like, I was getting them personally, but those were kind of coming through, they were actually coming through a third person, Aaron Armstrong. So thank you very much for him, and thanks to him I am in contact with Dr. Young, and hopefully we'll be getting Dr. Young, who's an expert on refraction, onto the show to have a chat soon. As a child, were you hit in the head several times with a ballpoint hammer?
Right? He didn't say, oh, and by the way, all of that shit that I said, that was a lie as well. He made it look like you'd got all of that information that he had the knowledge from, that he just fucking made up himself.
Yeah.
Well, but what I did was
Alan, why didn't you actually... why didn't you tell everyone anyway, Alan? It would have been the right thing to do to let everyone know he's a fucking liar, right?
Oh, I don't have like really a channel like that, so I was thinking about writing a show about it, but I've got other things. I don't really do well on shows. I get pretty anxious. I suffer anxiety pretty badly. Difficult for me. I just explain. I was trying to learn about refraction, so the things that Andrew Thomas Young had replied to me, I'd actually written like a report, like a document, a learning document, so I could actually learn what it was about, because I just didn't understand what he was talking about. So I kind of summarized the links that he had sent me, and then I thought, I can't wrap my head around this. It's still too hard for me. So I just sent it to FTFE because I thought he was a polite person. However,
Well, you think
You
FTFE's cleverer than you?
Yeah, man, you seriously didn't go like, oh, I'm struggling with this. I wonder who I know that's clever. I know. Fight the flat earth.
we're talking about 12 months ago. Anyway, I'll finish the story. He got really cranky, and I called him a triggered cripple, and he went nuts.
Really?
That's not nice.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, he calls himself a cripple all the time. He laughs about it. Him and Team have jokes about each other. So I said, shut up, you triple cripple, triggered cripple. Anyway, he went nuts, and he banned me from everything, and he wrote me like honestly 20 emails. I can send them, I can show them to someone if I can be fucked. But he said that I was never going to get on YouTube ever again. He was going to see to it that I would never, ever be on any show to do with Flat Earth ever again.
Wow.
He went nuts.
That's a big
So
claim.
do you think he's quite powerful then?
Yeah.
Do you think he's got like contacts in high places?
No, he's a wanker.
Well,
He's
yeah,
an
but
absolute wanker,
do you
and he's a
think
liar.
he thinks he's like the big man? Do you think he's sat on a big throne somewhere, like pointing fingers at everybody, like directing everything? Because I do. I think he's got a load of trolls everywhere.
He thinks he's a legend. He thinks he's funny, and he's not. He's never said a funny word in his life. The only reason he has anywhere near the success that he does is because he's teamed up with Team Skeptic. And Team Skeptic is actually probably quite an intelligent guy who's quite measured.
Oh, come on. No, you've made the
he's
mistake
better
with
than
Fight the
FTFE.
Flat Earth. Don't be doing that.
No, he's better than FTFE.
He's not. He's worse.
I've had a go at FTFE and Team Skeptic many times because they troll for flat earthers who are just unexperienced or inexperienced, don't know much, and they say, come on our show and we'll kind of make you a bit famous. And they get on there and they just abuse them, and it's just like, it's not cool. You just can't do that. You can't make fun of people.
It's a pretty bad business model, right? And that is their entire business model. Is like abusing and making fun of people.
You'll see the Team Skeptic has moved away from that. It's distant.
Sorry, what was your name again?
Aaron.
What should I call you?
Aaron.
So what do you think about like people that think horizontal? If we think a horizontal is a straight line like a plane, like do you think it's curved? And if do you think we're strange for thinking it's like a straight line?
To be 100% honest, I think I don't understand what you guys are saying because you say it and it's so black and white. But for me, I don't comprehend it the same way. So I think I must be missing.
Well, I'd like your honesty.
Well,
Are you lacking the practical knowledge of it? Is that what you're missing?
Yeah, have you ever used the water level?
I'd say two things. So I grew up in Australia and I was actually brought up in a cult. We didn't actually go to a real...
What? Globe Earth, you mean?
Yeah. Let's call it the education system.
Sorry, man.
No, not that cult. Another cult.
No, sorry, I don't mean to be rude.
I didn't actually go to school. I didn't actually go to a normal school. And so I never learnt anything to do with geometry or physics or chemistry or anything like that. I managed to get... My parents pulled me out of the cult when I was about 16. but there's a whole bunch of education that I didn't have. I went to a normal school for the last 2 years, and I managed to get enough grades to go away to become a nurse. But all of those basic chemistry, biology, all of that stuff I missed out on. So I've done no geometry whatsoever, ever. I'm trying to learn that stuff just as a hobby.
Sounds good.
But yeah, when you guys are talking about, the definition of what level is, or the definition of what horizontal is and perpendicular, I just know it on a very, very. As far as using a water level, I've had massive amounts of experience with that. Have been an intensive care nurse for 20 years. And
what? Say that again.
Sorry?
Oh, you've been a what for 20 years?
An intensive care nurse for 20 plus years.
Nice,
And
mate.
how do you use a water level, being an intensive care
So
nurse?
we have a lot of. I'll just describe it as simply as I possibly can. But patients have. We describe it. Patients have what we call monitoring kind of devices in them. So their blood pressure, their central venous pressure. We can measure the right side of their heart. Or the left side of their heart. We can also measure their intracranial pressure. And those pressure transducers are all leveled off with a certain anatomical part of the patient's body. So, and then it's calibrated to 0, and then we turn the dial the other way, and then it gives us a true reading, the most accurate reading you can get for a blood pressure or a pulse rate and all that stuff. So the way that we level
you're
those...
talking, hang on. You're talking about pressures, not levels.
I'll tell you how I will, but I'll explain what we do with the water level. So to do that, we have to make sure that the patient is level with the transducer. So the transducer is the thing that plugs in the machine. So we have 10 foot of clear pipe, clear hose, suction tubing, and we make a circle with that. We fill it half full with water and then put some color in it. And then every patient bed has this water level, which is a complete hoop, but it's probably about 10 feet long. And so we're constantly, 50 times a day at least, or 50 times a shift, we're ensuring that the patient, the anatomical place on the patient's body, is level with the transducer, so it gives us a true reading. So yes, I've had massive amounts of experience of using a water level.
You're talking about the 0 point, where there's neither a positive pressure below or a negative pressure above, yeah?
It's just to do with calibrating the transducer. It has to.
So again, you're talking about a pressure rather than a level.
The two aren't related. I'm talking about the pressure of the patient, but we use a water level to ensure that our equipment is at the right height.
You're not using the water level as a water level.
We level the patient. No, we definitely raise or lower the patient according to where the water level is.
If you go below that, the level of that fluid, you get a positive pressure. If you go above the level of that liquid, that fluid, you get a negative pressure.
No, so you're not understanding what I'm saying.
You're not using the liquid as a level. You're using it as a pressure gauge.
No, you're definitely not getting what I'm saying, and I do apologize.
No, you're not getting what you're doing.
No, I am.
No, you're not. You're seriously not getting what you're doing.
The two aren't related. I use a water level to make sure that the patient is at the same level as the transducer. So I mark on the patient.
Using pressure to gauge that level.
Forget pressure. Forget the word pressure. And imagine a patient on a bed that goes up and down. Okay? Are you imagining a patient on the bed and the bed goes up and down? Imagine a transducer, a piece of equipment on a pole beside the bed that can go up and down. I have to make sure that the transducer on the pole is level with an anatomical part on the patient. So I hold the water level at the transducer, put the water exactly at the transducer, then I take the other side of the water level and raise or lower the patient so they are at the same height within that water level.
So what happens if you get it wrong?
The readings are either too high
And
or
what
too low.
happens to your patient? They either get too much of a drug or not enough of a drug.
Well, you're just writing down incorrect value.
Yeah. What you're doing is you're finding the zero pressure state, right? At
It's
that
not
point.
to do with
Well, yeah. When you're finding the level, right? You're finding a point where it is accurate for you to take your pressure reading.
Yeah,
right, that's
but
the whole
to
idea
overlay
of
the
you
pressure-
using the level, right?
Yeah, the idea of using the level is to calibrate the transducer to a 0 atmospheric pressure.
Yeah, to
and then you turn the
pressure.
tap
to an
on.
equilibrium of a point that is on the same horizontal, right? You are finding a position on a vertical scale where it is 0. That's what the level is doing. It is establishing as a 0 point for you. You can call it
patient
atmospheric pressure. You can call it absolute pressure minus gauge pressure, right?
Just remember, the patient is never at 0 pressure. It's just the transducer.
Yeah.
that we
It's just a
calibrate to
point. It's a
0 before we
line
turn it back on.
above which goes negative and below which goes positive.
Positive.
It's the equilibrium
Like
point.
For example, your central venous pressure is basically it's a number, and it's kind of, you can describe it as how much fluid is within your vascular system at any one time. So we want it to be at about 6. If the patient is lower than the transducer, then it might read 4. If the patient is higher than the transducer, then it might read, 8. But we
This is
actually
exactly
want it
what
at
I
6.
just
so
said.
unless we've got
This
Yeah.
is what I just
Pardon?
said.
It's a
This is
manometer.
what I just said about 4 minutes ago. That if your patient is lower than your 0 state, then the pressure is in one direction. And if the patient is higher than your 0 state, then the pressure is in the opposite direction. You just confirmed what I said.
Yes, he did.
Okay,
4 or
well,
5
sorry,
minutes
as
ago.
I said, I get a bit anxious, so I probably wasn't listening to you clearly. I do apologize. Sorry,
Yeah.
who am I talking to? Who was that?
That was DP.
Yeah.
That was me.
Oh, okay. Sorry, DP. I didn't. If that's what you said, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we just
No,
went
it's-
around for about 5 or 6 minutes there, just to end up agreeing on what DP said initially.
Yeah,
As I said, I
all it
apologize.
is,
I get a bit anxious.
just 2 seconds,
Suffer
mate.
anxiety.
2 seconds. Like in here, yeah, I know you may have heard the live stream, so you're probably aware, but we try to just talk about these subjects, and if someone's got something to put forward, but it's trying to listen to what other people have got to say, which doesn't seem to be
Your
doesn't
strong
happen very
point.
much in other environments. But here, like listen up, and you might. It sounds like you've got a bit of information to offer here, so good.
A lot of information when it comes to intensive care nursing, but I don't have any information when it comes to geometry or what you're talking about. But if you need to know about illnesses and diseases and treatments and medications, then I'm your man.
Well, I'm interested in what you've just said about this 0 pressure state, the patient being below it, being the pressure in one direction, the patient being above that 0 pressure state, the pressure's in an opposite direction. This really quite interests me.
Yeah, that's what we're at the minute. We're dealing with we've done the geometry within the water level. That's sorted. There's nobody can deny parallel lines aren't parallel, right? So that's done, dusted. We're done with the surveyors because they obviously deluded. So what we're on to now is trying to work out with the water level, like the why behind it, with the geometry done, dusted. What it happens with it in practicality, right, and the way we use it within surveying, done, dusted. It's a horizontal. It has to be. It's an equilibrium. That's sorted. So now we're trying to work out why the pressure thing seems to work out, because it does. There's definitely something to do with water and the water level and a differing pressure. Now that happens in a few different ways. Call it hydrostatics and call it siphoning and all of that sort of stuff. But water acts in a strange way, and it seems to act contrary to what we've been told. And we're learning it ourselves.
Yeah, well, I applaud you on trying to understand it. I don't know. Like after
Yeah, you don't
the
know
system
yet.
that I'm. Sorry.
You don't know yet. You know, it's just like stick around, and you know, you might want to be part of it, get an understanding of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. I
You know,
mean,
because what we're trying to do here is make everything simple. Yeah, because most things are, and they've been made like so that most people think, oh well, no, that's just above, you know, that's way above me. You know, that's refraction. Oh wow, that's for the universities and clever people like fight the flat Earth.
Yeah, I think everyone is. I think if you've got a passion for trying to find that stuff out, that's great. I mean, I don't really know why I'm interested in the flat Earth scene. It's fascinating, just different people and what they think and why they believe that. And
Right, Aaron,
I
I'm going to
suppose
stop
it's
you there.
always.
Aaron, right, it's not flat Earth. It's
Oh,
not
you're going to
Not
flat
say
Earth.
there are
round here,
hills and
mate.
stuff.
We don't claim that it is.
No, but are you going to say something about there's hills and valleys and stuff?
Absolutely, there's topography.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
the
Yeah, no,
Earth
but I
100%
think
is
correct.
not flat.
I know, but when I say flat, I don't mean a pool table. I just mean not a big sphere.
All right, so you mean non-spherical rather than flat.
Yeah. Well, like
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I
the
think that's a term
horizontal,
that
right?
most.
Level.
Pardon? Pardon, Bev?
Level is horizontal. Would you agree with that?
Look,
Or not?
I don't. It's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Well, you come back and have a chat when
Does
you've
it
got a
matter?
bit more time then.
I tell you what, I'll come back and have a chat, and if you guys when we're talking, if we talk, if you guys don't generalize, put me just as a standard baller kind of rumpus style.
Everyone
Then I
is
would.
an individual round here. Everyone.
Yeah.
There's no
You got to
difference.
prove yourself by what you say. We're not judging you on anything apart from what you say, and then you know, and that's not.
And to be fair, the only interaction I've had with you in the past has been over in Ranties, and you've been vile. You've been absolutely vile in the chat.
Yeah, I do troll a bit. Is that DP?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
do
troll.
troll a
I
bit,
troll
but
in the
everyone
chat,
gets. Yeah,
but
everyone
I'm
gets a
not.
bit
I'm
vile.
nowhere near as vile as you are. The things you
Oh, come
say in
on.
the chat, dude.
Come on, dude. Come on.
What's he said then?
Come on.
Because I'm not in these chats. Give me an idea.
The things he's been saying to Paige, absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Really?
Paige and I are friends.
Yeah,
Paige and I are
it
friends.
sounds like you're friends in the
She
chat,
serves it up. She serves it up, DP. Come on. She's happy to
dude.
serve it up and take it.
Dude.
So.
Yeah,
look,
okay.
sometimes
I think it's more of a case that we get given it, and you either learn to ignore it, or sometimes you have fun and act like a troll, which is exactly what you get anyway from the other side. So I spent 2 years being nice to everyone, absolutely everyone, equally, and it didn't get me anywhere.
So look, I act like an idiot sometimes, for sure. And sometimes I write things and do things that I'm quite embarrassed by later on. And I shouldn't let that get to me. I shouldn't.
Can I ask you how old you are?
I'm 50.
Right. Okay. So maybe it's time to rethink about our actions, eh? Maybe change.
Who's that talking? Who's that?
Go on.
Who's saying that?
Spot on. My name's Spot On.
Well, I think all of us should have a look at our actions. I don't think you should be lecturing me about how I act unless yourself,
All right,
can
okay. All right, it's
unless you
fine,
can
mate.
say, I don't know who you are, but unless you've been an absolute saint, I wouldn't lecture me.
Spot
One
On
of the
has been
things
an
that
Don't
I'm
think
absolute
that was a
saint.
lecture, dude.
No,
I mean,
no, it wasn't a lecture.
you may be getting your words mixed up a little bit there, Aaron.
And
I'm
compared
sorry,
to
you all
you,
spoke over the top of each other. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
it wasn't a lecture.
No, I was just pointing
I tell
out,
you
mate.
what, guys.
I've also done things I regret. Yeah, we've all done things we regret. That's all, and just like maybe learn from it and just maybe change. That's what I've done.
That's what I'm trying to
Yeah, I'm
do.
no
I'll tell you
saint,
what.
but
I will leave you with something. I am not a very. I suffer anxiety pretty badly, and I
yeah,
my emotions. I have trouble regulating them sometimes. So
yeah, me
it's
too,
good for
mate.
me actually not to. Sorry, it's good for me not to get engaged because sometimes I get hurt or I get angry or I don't understand what people are trying to say and things because I get quite anxious and it all goes blurry and my head starts humming and gets hot and I'm trying to
I have
not engage.
anxiety and panic attacks myself.
Yeah, so me being on the internet is probably a bad thing for me and something that I'm trying to reduce because of what I'm capable of, but also what I can walk away with, which sometimes isn't fair.
Aaron,
So
try.
I think we'll just
Try.
I just
leave it
think
at
you've
that.
been.
Hang on. Hang
Go
on. Aaron,
Go on.
try spending
You say
less
something,
time
sorry?
in the chat, in the text chat.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
If you
Just
want
come in
to
here.
come here and talk,
yeah,
because in the
yeah.
text chat you lose all context of what's being said.
We need a
When you talk,
safety word, We need a safety word. So if I'm getting upset, I just say fucking, I don't know,
it's
orange.
up to you. It's up to you to take yourself
And
out
if
of that
I start
situation.
screaming orange, everyone just backs off. How's about that?
It's up to you to take yourself out of the
Just
situation.
shake your rattle, Aaron. Whenever you.
Shake a rattle.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll shake a rattle.
like a rattlesnake. Like, don't come near. Yeah.
It's all right.
No, I mean,
Anyway.
I'm the same, mate. I'm the same. I've never been talking on the internet ever up until about a year or so, and it just so happens I landed with a group of people that are, like willing to have a chat and not take the piss, or, and that's this place. I'm not saying that, to impress anyone. It's just the way it is, and that's why we're all here. We're all like, we can take the piss out of each
Oh,
other for
hang on,
saying
you
that
all take the piss
twisted
out of me.
streams.
Damn it, that's why you're here. You know that.
Anyway, as I said, I'm in hospital. I'm not a patient. I'm not working in a shared room to go out. So I'm going to go
You're clipping there.
to bed.
You're clipping.
You guys.
I think he's saying good night
I hope you
anyway.
don't mind if I. Sorry.
Good night.
I hope you don't mind if I listen.
Can do, if you like.
All right, cool. Is this Emma?
Yes.
Sorry,
Have you
I
not
just got one
spoken to
question
any of
for
us
you.
before?
No.
Things. Luckily, I've been speaking with one of the world leading experts on refraction, Dr. I actually forget his name for a second. I've got him in the emails. Dr. Young. So I've been speaking with one of the world's leading experts on refraction, Dr. Andrew T. Young, who actually has done years and years and years of study on refraction and even created simulations of what we should see if the Earth is flat and stuff. So,
well, I'd be interested.
But that's the point is if he has the data of a particular day, if he has the lapse rate of the air, if he has the data that is needed, he can put it into a simulator that he's programmed based on real world observations and tell you what you should be able to see. Just before we start, I wanted to clarify something from my previous debate that I had on Modern Day Debates. When I was talking about the emails from Dr. Young, it may have seemed like I was talking like I was getting them personally, but those were kind of coming through, they were actually coming through a third person, Aaron Armstrong. So thank you very much for him. And thanks to him, I am in contact with Dr. Young. And hopefully we'll be getting Dr. Young, who's an expert on refraction, onto the show to have a chat soon. I've got a video coming out later today that is going